Remember, the 5th of November. Gunpowder, treason, and plot. I know of no reason why gunpowder treason should ever be forgot.
Hi, welcome back to Curry Soup. My name is Julian and today we're going to be talking about Guy Fawkes Day. Most of you might not know what Guy Fawkes Day is. It's actually a celebration day for the British people on the 5th of November. So Guy Fawkes was known to be a person who attempted to blow up the British Parliament in 1605. So during that time, Queen Elizabeth was still Queen, and one of her greatest achievements was making the Church of England. At the same time, the Catholics were not really happy with how she did things around that time. Soon later, Queen Elizabeth died in 1603, and James I was next person to become king. So what got around, people thought that King James I was gonna be more open-minded and accepting towards their beliefs and their religions. But not entirely true. In the end, the Catholics were still upset about how King James I ruled in his reign. So before we go any further, I would only like to mention 3 names for the sake of the story and your time also. The first one would be Francis Tresham, Robert Catesby, and Guy Fawkes. So back to where we were earlier. So King James I, people didn't like how the way he ruled. The Catholics were not happy at all. And this has given rise to a group of 13 men with those 3 people I mentioned earlier. They decided to blow up the British Parliament on the 5th of November, where important people gathered to make very important decisions for the country. These 13 men, they planted 36 barrels of gunpowder in the cellar just beneath the Parliament to blow up the whole Parliament, because they know that on that day, King James I, the Prince of Wales, and other members of the Parliament would be there, and they know that it would kill them because of the explosion. And these men were led by Robert Catesby, one of the person I mentioned earlier. Moving on, this is the part where Francis Tresham comes in. What he thought was, he was having second thoughts, so he thought that some innocent people might get killed during the explosion. What he did was, he wrote a warning letter to his cousin, who was also a member of the Parliament, named Lord Monteagle. So instead of running away, Lord Monteagle passed the letter to the King's Guard, and soon the letter reached the King's hands. What now? So the gunpowder plot is blown already. Now, Guy Fawkes, he was the person in charge of guarding the barrels beneath the Parliament and in charge of lighting it up later. And so word got around already, the King's Guards were already on their way, and he was soon captured, imprisoned, tortured, and then cut into 4 pieces and sent to the 4 corners of the kingdom. Why they did that was because they want to make it like a warning for those who ever want to plan a treason or a plot in the future. Thus, he became the symbol of the failed gunpowder treason plot. And for 400 years, from the 1600s to the 2000s today, people have been celebrating every year of the failed gunpowder treason plot by setting up bonfires and making a dummy, which is called, the dummy is called the Guy. And on Guy Fawkes night, which is actually it's the day before the 5th of November, on the 4th of November, you would see children bringing this dummy around, knocking on people's door and asking for a penny for the Guy. So what the children did with this money that they collected later was they bought fireworks so they could light it up just before midnight or at midnight later on. As soon as the clock strikes midnight, people would light up the bonfires and throw the dummies onto the bonfire as a celebration for the failed gunpowder treason plot. Fireworks would go around, and that's how it has been celebrated all these years. And that's what Guy Fawkes Day is. So it was actually a long story short. If you like to know more, you feel free to go and look it up yourself to know about the details of how the conspiracy actually went. But yeah, those are the things that I mentioned earlier was the important parts of the story lah. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe and share it to your friends if you think this story is quite interesting about someone trying to blow up a parliament. I don't know if it ever happened to any other countries. So until the next video, see ya.